And the New York Mets ready to play Game 2 of this 3-game series. Last night, the Brewers got it kicked off in a big way. Had one of their better performances of the season. A 7-0 victory. Milwaukee with 7 runs on 10 hits, including 3 home runs in last night's game. And Kyle Loesch with his best start of the year. He went 8 innings of shutout baseball. And the Brewers, for the first time, they get the second time this year, shut out an opponent. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Citi Field in New York. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder. We'll hear from Sophia Minnaert in just a moment. Great performance last night. Craig Counsell winning his first ever road game as a manager. And last night was one of the nights he got to put it on cruise control a little bit. Leading the charge was Ryan Braun.
And that's the guy that has to continue to play well, both in the field and at the plate, if the Brewers hope to get back to 500. And it all started early in the ball game with Ryan Braun making a tremendous catch out in the gap out in right field. That's just one of the things that Ryan Braun can do when he's healthy and he's on the top of his game. That was at the time, a no-hitter saving catch right here. So Ryan Braun, his first home run to left field. It tells you how strong this young man is, taking most of his home runs to center field and to the opposite field. Ryan now with 8 home runs, 21 RBIs, a 2-home run game in last night's ball game. Now think about the multi-home run games in San Diego a few years ago, 3 home runs. Not a home run hitter's ballpark, and certainly here, 2 home runs. You can see the way he's been able to spread them out. Pitchers have a tendency to try and pound them inside. When they miss out over the plate, Ryan's able to take them to center, and nobody in the game much better at taking a fastball away into right field with power than Ryan Braun.
Brewers beat Bartolo Colon last night. Today they get the Rookie of the Year from last year, Jacob deGrom, who will match up against Matt Garza. And we've got a Brewers debut coming tonight. It's the birthday boy, 22-year-old Luis Sardinas, making his Brewers debut. Sophia with more right after this.
Brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. Luis Sardinas is getting ready to make his Brewers debut tonight. Luis Sardinas recalled from AAA Colorado Springs just the other day to fill in for shortstop Gene Segura when he was placed on the disabled list with a fractured right pinky finger. And Luis Sardinas was the everyday shortstop in Colorado Springs, where he was hitting .288 with 18 RBIs. Craig Counsell saying important to get him into the lineup right away. We take a look at the career profile of Sardinas, signed as a free agent by the Rangers in 2009, acquired by the Brewers in that Giovanni Gallardo trade in the offseason. You see the numbers there, what he was able to do in Colorado Springs. The .288 average, 18 extra base hits, and 18 RBIs for him. Craig Counsell saying he wanted to get him in the lineup right away.
Well, I mean, we've seen him. We saw him in spring training, and he's played in the big leagues, so this isn't new for him, you know. He's a big league player, you know, so he's in there, and he's gonna help us.
Well, there's Luis Sardinas, a very special day for him to make his Brewers debut. It is his 22nd birthday today, so here he is with the lineup card, a momentous occasion for him to make his Brewers debut tonight. So hopefully he does well here. We're getting ready for first pitch. It will be Matt Garza against the reigning Rookie of the Year, Jacob deGrom. Brewers looking to follow up what they were able to do last night.
Sports Wisconsin. It is presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. We invite you to book your stay now. 72 degrees. If you watched the Preakness and you saw that rain in Maryland, that rain's coming here. So hopefully we were able to get the game in tonight. 50% chance of showers here on a Saturday in Queens. There's Ryan Braun. His 2-homer game last night set the tone. Brewers jumped out to a 5-0 lead after the first 3 innings and ended up winning 7-0. The Potawatomi lineups look like this, with Gomez, Parra, and Braun at the top once again. Adam Lind, Aramis Ramirez, Scooter Gennett in the middle. Martin Maldonado, the pitcher. Matt Garza will bat 8th. And Luis Sardinas making his Brewers debut in the 9th spot. Jacob deGrom on the mound for the Mets. Not only is he a very good pitcher early in his career as the Rookie of the Year last year, But, Rock, he is one of the best pitchers in his home ballpark that there is in the big leagues.
Yeah, he's 8-1 in his last 10 home starts with a 1.30 earned run average. It just doesn't get any better than that, although he has lost 3 of his last 4 starts. 2 of them not real good. 8th appearance, a 3-4 record, and overall earned run average at about 3.5.
Gomez takes a strike. That's Jeff Nelson calling the balls and strikes tonight. He is the crew chief of this 4-man crew. Laz Diaz, Corey Blazer, Manny Gonzalez on the bases. There's Jeff. 1-2 to Carlos. And it evens at 2-2. DeGrom took a loss his last time out against the Cubs at Wrigley. Allowed 4 walks in that game, the most walks he had allowed in any start this season. A shattered bat for Carlos Gomez.
Yeah, 4 walks his last time out against the Cubs at Wrigley, and he's got 12 for the season. So, yeah, it's uncharacteristic, a little erratic with his pitches. Last time out, he'll throw all 4 pitches and normally throws a lot of strikes. You see those walks to go along with 5 punch-outs.
His wins this year coming against the Phillies, the Marlins, and the Orioles. The Mets have had very good pitching this season. Got off to a great start. They won 13 of their first 16 games. But in May, they are just 5-8, despite having the best ERA in the month of May at 2.72. They're not hitting. And the Mets coming to play tonight, having lost 5 straight. They were swept in a 4-game series against the Chicago Cubs, and the Brewers beat them last night. Brewers trying to make it back-to-back wins here in New York. Gomez is called out on strikes. Thought he had ball 4, instead a backwards K, and that's how the night begins for Jacob deGrom.
Yeah, deGrom rushes it up there pretty good. 96, 97 miles an hour. He's got a good changeup. And the defense behind deGrom here tonight, you got Kadar, Lagares, and Granderson in the outfield. Eric Campbell just got called up. He started the season with the Mets. Flores, Murphy, and Duda from 3rd to 1st. And Kevin Plawecki, one of 3 catchers on this roster for the New York Mets.
And noticeably absent David Wright and Travis d'Arnaud. Outstanding all-star 3rd baseman David Wright, and their terrific young catcher in d'Arnaud. As Gerardo Parra back in the 2 spot this evening after belting his 2nd homer of the year last year. Hit one deep into the bullpen in right center. 3 hits last night, including that home run he drove into. And he is on quite a run himself at the plate. And a pretty good sample size here, Rock. Over his last 18 games, Parra's hitting .447. Both of his homers, 12 of his 14 RBIs have come in the last 18.
Yeah, one of the most consistent bats in that lineup. Craig Counsell just can't get him out of the lineup. So Chris Davis once again sits this one out.
0-2 the count. And Parra dribbles one foul over towards first. Yeah, Gerardo Parra has been our T-Mobile game changer in the month of May. 13 games this month, 15 hits in the 13 games. Both of his homers have come in May.
Yeah, 11 RBIs in those 13 games. Not too bad.
deGrom's got him down 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's a nice, easy delivery by deGrom, and ball just jumps out of his hand in the upper 90s.
Ooh, didn't miss by much. Count evens at 2-2. Brewers have had great success here at Citi Field. It's hard to figure. Ballpark opened in 2009, and the Brewers, with the win last night, are now 14-6. That is the best winning percentage of any National League opponent to come in here. Parra able to check his swing, and it goes full 3-2.
And the Brewers laid one on one of the top pitchers in the National League last night, Bartolo Colon. Got to him early and often.
Colon has been the Mets' best pitcher on a 3-2 hit high in the air to center field, where fly balls go to die. Lagares puts it away. Crowd's got a lot more energy tonight. It's a Saturday night. It is A bring your dog to the ballpark night. It's also Fedora night, Rock. This is a very exciting night for you this evening.
And they got the clappers out there in center field. So, yeah, a lot going on here in the ballpark.
Bark at the Park and the Fedora.
It's our second Bark at the Park this year. Had one in Cincinnati.
Very nice. I didn't know you were keeping such stats, but well done.
It's going to be batting average on Bark in the Park night.
Here's Ryan Braun. He takes a strike. Now, Braun looked like the former MVP last night. Had a great game, a diving catch, hit 2 homers. And that ball's hit high in the air, left field, got a chance. Back there is Kadire, and he has enough room. It's a big old pitcher's park, especially under these conditions. 3 up, 3 down inning for DeGrom. Here at Citi Field tonight, we're off and running. Brewers go in order 1, 2, 3. Now Matt Garza will match up against the New York Mets. Potawatomi batting order for Terry Collins. It's Curtis Granderson back leading off. Juan Lagarce, then Lucas Duda. Middle of the order is Kadire, batting champion from last year. Daniel Murphy, and then Eric Campbell, just back from AAA. Kevin Plawecki, Jacob deGrom, and Wilmer Flores. And note that the pitcher for both teams is batting 8th. Garza will hit 8th in the Brewers batting order. And in the history of Major League Baseball, Rock, you got to go all the way back to Tuesday to find the last time both pitchers batted 8th.
I knew that was coming. I remember Ken Maka with the Brewers had the pitcher batting 8th quite a bit.
I thought it'd be a long time. I thought it'd be a really great stretch. But no, the Cubs and Mets last Tuesday with Syndergaard and Arrieta both hitting 8th in the lineup. So
Matt Garza on a nice roll too. 4 consecutive quality starts, but he's 1 and 2 in that stretch. Very good his last time out against the Cubs at Miller Park. Got a no decision, give up 1 run in 7 innings. That was in a Brewers 11-inning victory. Beat the Cubs 3-2 that night.
Trying to follow up a beautiful performance by Kyle Loesch last night, who went 8 shutout innings. Loesch finished his night last night with 4 consecutive strikeouts, and Loesch ended with 8 Ks, winning for the 3rd time this year. Granderson, little soft liner right to Lind. Out number 1 for Garza.
Well, let's check out the Brewers Menard defense. Park, Gomez, Braun, no surprises out there. You got Ramirez back in the lineup. Big night at the plate for Aramis. You got Luis Sardinas making his first start at shortstop. First start of the year for him tonight on his birthday. GENNETT and Lind on the right side, and Maldonado back behind home plate.
Sardinas coming to the Brewers from the Rangers, part of the Giovanni Gallardo deal. Turning 22 today in the big leagues and starting at short. Lagarce on the first pitch, bounces to GENNETT. 2 up, 2 down for Garza.
And Matt Garza has been very good as of late, and one of the reasons he's been able to establish his fastball has been very effective on both sides of the plate. And he's got the slider back. That's Slider's been a good pitch for him.
Like DeGrom in his home ballpark, Garza has an interesting split as well against the New York Mets. Garza's had a lot of success in his career in 3 starts. Not a huge sample size, but he does have 22 innings pitched in those 3 starts. And a 1.64 earned run average. Does have a victory. Pitched against the Mets last year, and the Brewers won that game 9-1. That was in July at Miller Park. And in that game, Garza went 8 innings against the Mets. Just 1 earned run. It was one of his better performances of the year. He gave up just 2 hits to New York. There's a big curveball in there for a strike on Lucas Duda.
Yeah, mix it up nicely. He's only allowed 4 earned runs in 22 innings of work against the Mets.
Well, so something's got to give here tonight. DeGrom at home or Garza against the Mets. Duda in the air, right field, and that is down fair. Up against the wall it goes. Duda on his way to second, in there with a double. A 2-out, 2-strike double for Lucas Duda.
Yeah, it looked like Garza left a slider up in the strike zone, tried to put it down in the dirt, back foot it. Left it upstairs. Let's check it out. There it is. Yep. Slider that was a little bit flat just inside the right field line down there in the corner. That pitch wasn't even a strike. I mean, Duda really pulling the hands in and able to keep that one fair. Good piece of hitting.
Took the Mets until the 5th inning for their first hit last night. Michael Kadire takes a strike from Garza. He's off to a slow start. Kadire just 3 homers thus far. He's hitting it just a 234 clip.
It really has been the story for the Mets, and for most of the season so far, the Brewers as well. I mean, lack of offense, decent pitching, very good starting pitching for the Mets. They're just not able to score a lot of runs.
Kadire won the batting title a couple of years ago with the Colorado Rockies. He had .331 in an all-star season in 2013. And Garza makes quick work of him. 3 pitches. Garza strikes out Kadire. Inning over. We head to the 2nd in New York. Are in Queens again tonight, wrapping up the series tomorrow. All right, tonight our DraftKings players to watch. We'll take ARAMIS Ramirez for the Brewers, Wilmer Flores for the Mets, and then around the league, former Brewer product Michael Brantley and Bryce Harper. He's been hot. Michael Brantley was involved in the CC Sabathia deal. He went from the Brewers to the Indians. Turned himself into an all-star with Cleveland.
Brewers still got the better end of that deal.
That was 2008. Adam Lind will lead off for Milwaukee. DeGrom pours in a strike. Now Lind with 6 homers, 18 driven in. Got a slugging percentage of .542 and an on-base percentage of .387. So you add those together and you get a very strong OPS of .929. That is among the best in the league. As Lynn cannot check his swing. That's a strike. It's 1-2.
Yeah, Lynn with a second inning double in yesterday's ball game, snapping an 0 for 14. A rarity for him this year. He's been so consistent.
And DeGrom strikes him out, powers him with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. One away, second strikeout for the hair, Jacob DeGrom.
Yeah, DeGrom's already hit 97 miles an hour with his fastball. He'll cut it. He's got a slider, a changeup, and a curveball. So he's got an arsenal that, you know, if one's not working, he's going to have a couple others that will be.
ARAMIS Ramirez hacking at the first pitch. Brewers did a lot of that yesterday as well.
Yeah, why not? You know, you get a guy out there that you know is going to throw strikes like Malone. Why wait? Likes to get ahead in the count.
ARAMIS with 3 hits last night. Terrific night offensively for the Brewers. 3 for 4. He drove in a run. He drove in the first run. And a double in the gap in left center. That followed an Adam Lind double. Just a few years ago, ARAMIS Ramirez led the league in doubles. Had a 50 double season in Milwaukee. That was year 1.
Missed a week and came up with a 3-hit game first day back.
1-2 pitch. We saw Ramirez in the hallway last night after the game outside the clubhouse. Rock said, "Hey, that easy?" He goes, "No, no, not that easy. Not that easy." He's a humble man.
Yeah.
Pop up behind the plate. There's very little foul territory behind home plate. So one of the benefits a hitter does have here. There's a lot of foul territory down the baselines, but not much behind home plate. As a matter of fact, when you sit in the front row behind home plate, you're closer to the plate than the pitcher. I think it's 55 feet from the front row behind the plate to the plate.
Yeah, that's a good seat back there. A lot safer back there too.
Yeah. But there is a lot of foul territory to make catches down the lines toward the dugout. Ramirez right off the end of the bat, falling fast. It's down, a base hit. And a very similar hit last night. Ramirez has it going a little bit now. 4 hits in the series already and a base runner, and the first hit for Milwaukee.
Yeah, working away. He's able to stay back long enough. Got it right off the end of the bat. But he keeps the bat in the hitting zone long enough to be able to dump it into center. Lagares plays a very shallow center field. There's a lot of room behind him, but he's very good at going back.
It's a series of 2 outstanding center fielders, Lagares and the Gold Glover Carlos Gomez. Gomez plays much deeper than Lagares.
I don't think anybody in baseball plays as shallow as Lagares out there. Even with Scooter Gennett at the plate, who's really not known for his home run power, but he's able to go back. He goes back on the baseball well, and he knows that a lot more hits are going to fall in front of him than over his head.
Gennett trying to break from a slump at the plate. Scooter figures to be a guy that you'd like in the leadoff spot at some point, but he's got to prove he's an everyday player first. Can't just be a platoon player. And right now his on base percentage just .222 with a batting average of .169. First extended slump of his professional career he said, and I'm sure there's a lot of pressure that goes along with that when you're trying to do it in the big leagues or trying to break from it in the big leagues.
Yeah, because they know your tendencies. Not that they didn't know that in the minor leagues, but they find a weakness. They will wear you out with it until you make an adjustment.
And GENNETT chases one out of the strike zone.
And that's one of the weaknesses right there, chasing that high fastball for Scooter.
He's just an anxious hitter right now. DeGrom with his third K. It's the second out.
And I'm not going to be able to catch up to that in the mid-90s. Not up around the letters.
3 of the 5 outs thus far have been via the strikeout. And here is Martin Maldonado. 2 away. Ramirez at first base. In there for a strike. Probably see Juan Centeno tomorrow, you would think. Day game after a night game. Maldonado has been handling the heavy burden, catching every day in the absence of Jonathan Lucroy. Lucroy took batting practice on the field today, by the way, and he threw. And looks like he might be on his way for a minor league rehab assignment in the coming weeks. Trying to get him back probably just as we get into June is a good bet. A broken big toe for Lucroy is his injury.
Yeah, initial report on Lucroy when he broke the toe was 4 to 6 weeks, but you know, knowing Lucroy, he's going to be back sooner than those 6 weeks. Key is he going to be able to squat and be able to move around behind home plate? He's been messing around or toying with a shoe that has a hard toe cover on it.
Little half swing roller, that's fair, and Duda will go right to the bag. So a fair ball ends up as a quick out and a scoreless inning for DeGrom. Garza back out. We head to the bottom of the second.
Hotel and casino scoreless here at Citi Field as we head to the bottom of the second. Pitching coach Rick Kranitz said of Matt Garza, he is coming off of his last start where he thought he had his best slider of the season. He went 7 innings, gave up just 1 run, 9 strikeouts against the Cubs. He said he really had command of all 4 pitches, but that slider was exceptional. He also said he was able to use his changeup for big outs. But right now he feels that Garza has really nice, relaxed, controlled delivery. It's been under control, and he says, especially with that slider, how effective it was in his last outing. He's going to use that as his put-away pitch in counts, and he says that's huge for Garza. It was something he rediscovered in spring training.
All right, Sophia, thanks. And what is your assessment of the pitching coach's thoughts on Garza?
No, absolutely. I mean, the slider's been a real good pitch, but I think more importantly, and Kranitz has said this as well, the fact that he's been able to locate his fastball early in the count on the corners, So they're really not getting a whole lot to hit early in the count. Able to get ahead on the corners and able to work that slider in there. And the other thing he's been doing is flipping up that curveball first pitch, just like he did right there to Murphy.
Daniel Murphy starts it for the Mets. And to the opposite field, the Gold Glover is there, Gerardo Parra, for the first out.
Well, you go up there and you're ready for the fastball, and all of a sudden a guy like Garza is going to drop a curveball on you, get it over. You're not going to swing at it because you're not thinking he's going to throw it. If he throws that over, then you don't really know what you're going to get. And what happens is he throws the fastball. Murphy's not sure what he's getting, and he's behind on it. And it's a weak fly ball to left.
Eric Campbell, one of the many that have manned third base for the Mets in the absence of David Wright. Mets just brought Campbell back up from AAA Las Vegas today. One of their infielders, we didn't see him yesterday, and now we know why. Dilson Herrera fractured his right finger, the tip of his right finger, yesterday in the pregame activities. So he wasn't available. The Mets had to play a man short, and they put him on the disabled list, bringing up Eric Campbell, who was with the Mets from mid-April to the first week of May. So he's only been down at the AAA level for 10 days, and now they brought him right back. That's line left field line. That's trouble for the Brew Crew. Down fair and off the fence. And Eric Campbell, with the Mets' second double of the night, joins Lucas Duda. Mets with a runner in scoring position with one out.
Terry Collins just trying to find anybody that's going to get hot and get on base. So Campbell, coming up from the minor leagues, able to pull the hands in on that fastball in the inner half of the plate, actually right on the inside corner, and able to keep it fair down the line. Home runs and runs have been hard to come by for the Mets as of late.
Garza to face Kevin Plawecki. Travis d'Arnaud still on the disabled list as well. It's another big bat and a great young talent behind the plate that is out. d'Arnaud expected to be back within a week to 10 days. Last night, Johnny Manel caught. He was 0 for 3. Plawecki's been getting most of the action at the catching position.
And they have Anthony Recker on the roster. They have 3 catchers on the active roster right now. 3 catchers of the 4 players on the bench.
Runner at second, 1 out. Plawecki batting 7th in this lineup. Remember, Collins, like Craig Counsell, has his pitcher batting 8th. So this becomes a key hitter for Garza, and a way out of the inning after giving up a 1-out double. Three balls, no strikes. Garza has to come all the way back. There's a strike with a fastball.
You might have thought with the pitcher coming up, he might have been swinging on 3-0. That was right down the middle.
Brewers got a hit in the top of this inning from Ramirez. Mets have 2 hits, both doubles. Duda with 2 outs in the first, and Eric Campbell just a moment ago. 3-1 the count, and he missed it. So Garza walks Plawecki, which will give DeGrom a chance to bunt the runners over. Little bit of rain falling here at Citi Field, and they're expecting showers on and off throughout the night.
Hey, on Saturday, May 30th at 3 o'clock, the Arizona Diamondbacks come to town for the first ever Star Wars night at Miller Park, presented by Kohl's. To reserve your spot, call 414-902-4000 and go to Brewers.com today.
That's been a big hit around the big leagues over the last couple of years. Now coming to Miller Park. Looking forward to getting back home. Brewers are beginning a 10-game road trip. Started it with a bang last night with a victory, and Loesch beating the National League's best winner, Bartolo Colon, who was sitting on 6 wins. Brewers expecting a bunt. DeGrom swings, and he's going to slap one through. A base hit. Coming in to score is Campbell. And the Mets pitcher delivers, batting in the 8th spot. 1-0 New York.
Handles the bat pretty well. 143 hit it coming in. Well, you try different things when you're having a difficult time scoring runs, and that's what Terry Collins did right there. Conventional book says you drop the bunt down with the pitcher up. That's a pretty good piece of hitting, able to find that open hole, the infield drawn in. Trying to get that lead runner at third base, and sneaks one into center field.
Now DeGrom proved to be an excellent hitter last year as a rookie. He hit .217 last year, had 10 hits. Impressive for a pitcher, especially a rookie pitcher. So 2 on with 1 out, and the 9th place hitter Wilmer Flores, who is the Mets home run leader right now with 5. So not only do you rarely see position players batting 9th in a National League lineup, especially big home run hitters. Got a chance to turn it here. Ramirez, GENNETT, Lind, and a 5-4-3 double play goes around the horn. And Garza, just like that, is out of the inning. But the Mets score, and they lead 1-0 after 2. But at least for now, the instructions to Jeff Nelson is keep the tarp covered. So they're probably expecting a sell at some point, but for right now, tarp is covered up. DeGrom getting his final warm-up tosses in.
Yeah, when they uncover that thing, you know trouble's coming.
All these little signs, right? We're all amateur weathermen when we work in baseball. It's kind of our duty to follow the weather very closely. Now we're out of practice because half of our games are at Miller Park, and we don't have quite the skills as the other broadcasters.
We don't really care what's going on outside, right?
No. So getting those fedoras on Fedora night, a little wet. Garza will lead off for the Brewers. DeGrom driving in a run for the Mets for their lone tally. And he's gone along well in the first 2 innings with 3 strikeouts for his first 6 outs. Pitchers batting 8th, both lineups. It happened Tuesday in Chicago with the Mets and the Cubs. Noah Syndergaard and Jake Arrieta. And it has happened 3 times in the last 5 seasons, but all 3 of the occasions have been this season as Garza strikes out, number 4 for DeGrom.
Craig Counsell decided to try that in last night's ball game, and he said it's not going to be something he's going to do every single day. It's going to be based on who he has available, who's in the lineup that particular day, and it's all about trying to get a few more base runners on in front of Carlos Gomez once you get through the lineup the first time.
Here is Luis Sardinas making his Brewers debut at the plate. Had some big league time with the Texas Rangers last year. Played a lot of third base with the Rangers. He is a shortstop by trade, and he makes his first start for the Brewers as a shortstop tonight. On his birthday, he turns 22 today.
Yeah, had kind of a rough spring training at the plate, but I talked to Rick Sweet, the manager down in AAA for the Brewers, and he said he's a much different hitter now than he was back in the spring. Much more controlled swing, better understanding of his strike zone, has been swinging the bat well.
Sardinas made his major league debut last year in late April as a 20-year-old. Switch hitter. Played in 43 games with the Rangers last year and held his own. He had 261 last season. Drove in 8 runs. And he lines out into right field. Luis Sardinas, welcome to Milwaukee. His first hit as a Brewer.
They tried to come in on him, and he was able to get enough of it. Got down on the handle a little bit, and there's your base runner in front of Carlos Gomez. That's what that's all about right there. Getting that number 9 hitter on. Look at that cut fastball that stayed in the middle part of the plate, and able to dump it into right. Good for him. Good start for Sardinas.
So batting 9th, Sardinas gives the Brewers their second hit off DeGrom. Turns the lineup over for Carlos Gomez.
And he can run, if you're wondering. He can steal some bases.
Sardinas has been in AAA Colorado Springs. Had 6 stolen bases in 32 games there. Caught twice. Now, nobody in the major leagues swings at the first pitch more than Carlos Gomez. Swings at the first pitch about 57% of the time, but he has not done that in his first 2 at-bats here tonight, trying to improve the curve, I guess. He did damage last night on the first pitch. He doubled into left center field. He drove in a run.
Now the ground started with a slider that just barely caught the outside corner, so Gomez able to lay off of that one.
Oh, and 2 the count. Gomez has great affection for the Mets. They are the big league club that signed him as a teenager, gave him a chance to play professional baseball. Gomez from the Dominican Republic. Came up to the big leagues with the Mets. He and Juan Lagares are actually very good friends. Gomez was a couple of levels ahead of him as the 2 center fielders were coming up through the Mets system. Gomez would always take care of Lagares during those days. And Carlos was telling the story as he fouls one off his foot. Telling the story when he went on a minor league rehab in 2007. He had a broken hamate bone. He ended up on the team with Lagares in the minor leagues, and they roomed together, and they're the best of friends, except for this weekend.
And they're both going to try and take away base hits from the other as best they can. Very similar, these 2 guys, as far as defense goes. Both of them have pretty good throwing arm. Lagares might have the best throwing arm in all the National League, if not one of the best in all of baseball.
And the fact that he plays so shallow shortens that distance even more. Gomez down the line. Oh, what What a stop at third by Campbell, but he's got no play. But he does take an extra base hit away from Carlos Gomez. That was a heck of a play by Eric Campbell.
Yeah, that ball gets by Campbell and might not have gone all the way to the corner, but it's certainly been second and third in 1 out. That's a nice play by Campbell in foul territory once he was able to get to it. Right down the line, and certainly no chance to get Gomez at first.
Probably would have been second and third. The line of that ball looked like it was headed for the tarp, that little angled wall out there. So unlikely Sardinas would have been able to score, but could change the complexion of the inning. 1 out, 2 on. Here is Parra, a hot hitter who flew out to center field in the first. Pick-off play. Trying to see if the young Sardinas is paying attention. Ryan Braun on deck. Parra trying to get the line moving again. 1-0 Mets. They scored last inning.
Yeah, I don't see this being a running situation for the Brewers, not with Parra and Braun on deck. Parra has been a very hot hitter. They certainly don't want to make any outs on the bases. Carlos Gomez called timeout. Is he all right?
Remember when he fouled that pitch off his foot or his shin? He's had some injury problems this year. Had a hamstring injury in April. Had a hip injury. Got a thumbs up there from first base coach Mike Gonzalez. I think he's feeling the effects of that foul ball. There's Mike Guerrero. Parra lines one, caught by Duda. Throw to second in time and a double play. Both runners were off the bag. And a line drive turns into an out and a double play to end the inning. Well, the Brewers got to be smarter on the bases. Heck of a play by Duda, however. Yep, he got him hitting over. As we head to the bottom of the third, bark at the park night here at Citi Field. That mutt's even got a raincoat there. Well done. All right, our carsoup.com trivia question. Since 2011, who are the 4 center fielders to win a Gold Glove in the National League? 2 of them are here tonight for sure. There are 4 Gold Gloves represented in the outfield in this series. But we're looking for the last 4 center fielders. Matt Garza back to work. Curtis Granderson, the Mets leadoff hitter, will start this 3rd inning. Well, Luis Sardinas comes out in his Brewers debut, and he gets a base hit and then gets doubled off on a line drive.
Yeah, tough play. I mean, the kid's trying to make something happen, wanted to score, just took one too many steps toward third base. That's all it took.
There's a shot. Here's Sardinas, diving stop, throw to first, not in time. He's showing his skills. He is a very slick defender, coming from a long line of talented defensive Venezuelan shortstops. That was a beautiful play. Granderson with just too much speed, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the wrong guy to have at the plate and try to get an out on a play like that. Just not able to get enough on the throw. I don't think it would have mattered anyway. Granderson gets down that line very well.
Well, those are the kind of plays, though, even though it ended up as an infield hit, that open your eyes a little bit. Brewers are very fortunate to have so many talented shortstops in their system, not just here at the big leagues, but in the minor leagues as well.
Including Segura. They have 4 guys that can play shortstop at any time on the roster. Hector Gomez, Herrera, and now Sardinas to go along with Segura, who's on the DL.
Brewers had to put Segura on the disabled list yesterday with a fractured right pinky finger. And thus the promotion of Luis Sardinas to the big leagues. Lagares trying to bunt his way on, or at least bunt Granderson over. And in a 1-2 count. Garza got a double play ball to end the last inning. Could use one here in a 1-2 count. Got a runner at first to start the inning. Lagares fouls it back. Matt Garza's in the 2nd year of his 4-year contract. Signed the most lucrative contract by a pitcher in the history of the franchise. Ryan Braun has the distinction of the largest contract ever signed in franchise history. But Garza's got it on the mound. There's a chance. Sardinas, GENNETT, and the Brewers turn it up. 6-4-3 double play. Just what Garza was looking for.
Yeah, good pitch by Mac, keeping that baseball down. Got Lagares to roll over on it. And Sardinas, GENNETT able to turn the double play. That's a nice pitch. Slider took a little bit off, had him out in front. And a good feed by Sardinas. Look at the way he follows that flip, that underhand flip toward GENNETT. When you do that, pretty good chance you're not going to get too much air underneath of it. And they're able to turn 2.
So 2 outs and the base is empty for Lucas Duda. Duda's the biggest threat in the Mets lineup in the absence of David Wright. They've got some pretty good hitters around him, and Kadire and Murphy, but Duda's the big power threat in this batting order.
Yeah, but you hate to say that he hasn't been hitting a lot of home runs. You want to say that on Monday when you leave town.
You're just making sure you're covered. You're not saying it, you're just saying it.
Intimating.
Right.
In a roundabout way.
That's like when somebody starts a sentence by saying, you know, I don't mean to be rude. And then they proceed to be rude.
And they're rude, right?
A swing and a miss. Garza had him out in front. Slow curveball from Garza.
I'm always leery when somebody starts a sentence by saying, I don't mean to upset you when I say this.
you
don't get mad at me
upset.
when I say this. Yeah.
Don't get mad. Every parent knows that phrase. Duda hit 30 homers last year. Has just 3 this season. in his first 36 games. Duda hit 30 homers and 92 RBIs last season. His best power year of his career. He had never hit more than 15 in a season and had never driven in more than 57 until his breakout year last year. There's a swing and a miss, and Garza comes back nicely after a leadoff infield hit. Got a double play and a strikeout. Ryan Braun will lead off when we come back.
They're trailing 1-0 here at Citi Field. Ryan Braun coming off of his 22nd multi-home run game last night. You see this one, the first. Now we update our Powerball home run count here. Braun's 8th of the season. The first one to left, the second one to right center. And manager Craig Counsell saying that obviously any home run is a ball that is hit well, but anytime someone can hit more than one home run in a game and do it to different areas of the field, he said it's certainly a sign that he is a special hitter. He said we know this is what Braun is capable of doing, and he's been showing signs of this coming through lately. He's hit safely 8 of his last 9 games. Over that time, a .355 average, 3 home runs for him, and he said certainly anytime Braun is hitting to all parts of the field, it's a sign that his swing is in good shape, and he's just at the top of his game right now.
It's going to be fun to watch him tonight, Sophia, because that home run yesterday against Cologne was on a hanging breaking ball, first pitch hanging breaking ball. And Rock, these pitchers who have velocity like DeGrom, who throw in the mid-90s, they try to attack Braun with the fastball, especially an inside fastball. And I think that's the last phase of his comeback, if you call it, from the thumb injury. He's going to have to prove he can hit that pitch.
Well, there aren't many guys that can hit that pitch. I mean, on the inside corner, he puts it right where he wants it. I mean, at 96 miles an hour, I mean, that's a pitch that not many guys are going to hit. And still be able to cover the outside corner. I mean, just hope that he misses on the inside part of the plate. I remember what Dale Swain once said, you pitch good hitters in and bad hitters away.
See what DeGrom does here on a 2-2 pitch. And the fastball got him. So a steady diet of heat from DeGrom, and Braun is out. Strikeout number 5 for Jacob DeGrom.
That's a pitch that the Brewers are going to have to figure out a way to lay off of, that high heater. Nobody's going to be able to catch up to that at, you know, the mid-90s, 95, 96. But Ryan Braun is so good at covering the outside corner, and 9 out of 10 pitchers are going to work him away, try to get him out of the way. They're going to come inside once in a while, but hitters like Braun, you can't worry about those pitches in, because they're not going to find the inside corner all that often.
Adam Lynn swings at the first pitch, right to Lucas Duda. 2 outs.
Hey, back by popular demand, Zuba's Palooza returns to Miller Park Friday, June 12th, when the Washington Nationals are in town. Fans who purchase this special ticket package will get a pair of green and blue Zubaz pants featuring the Brewers 90s logo. For tickets, visit brewers.com/special events.
I'm all in for the Zubaz.
They're comfy.
Ramirez swings at the first pitch, pulls it foul.
Good lounge wear.
Are we allowed to wear the Zubaz on the air that day?
As long as we have a tie on.
I might be wearing Zubaz right now. No one would know.
Nobody would know. Might have shorts on, right? As long as you have a tie and a jacket, everything's good.
Okay. Well, I'm all in for Team Zubaz night. How many in your prime in the 90s when the mullet was at its best? How many pairs of Zubaz did you own?
I think 3.
Nice.
With the accompanying T-shirt.
Yeah, you got it with no sleeves, of course.
No, it had sleeves.
You didn't have the gun show going,
but the front had a little box that had the same pattern that the pants had.
The zebra pattern.
Yeah.
What other patterns were there? I've only known the zebra pattern.
No, this different colors.
Yes. All right.
And as soon as you get out of the zoo, you jump into the leisure suit.
Is that right? And then make a necktie out of sanitary sock.
Pete Vukovich.
Pete Vukovich actually made a tie out of a sanitary sock?
Yeah, because
first of all, you got to explain what a sanitary sock is.
Yeah, it's the white socks that the players wear underneath their stirrups.
That they used to wear.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the sanitary white, if you get cut. That's not a sanitary sock.
That's just a regular sock.
Yeah, underneath there might be a white sock there.
Ramirez in the air to left, playable for Kadire, and that is a 1-2-3 inning for Jacob deGrom. 1-0 Mets. We're headed to the bottom of the 4th in New York. On Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. By Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Hupy and Abraham. 800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. 1-0 Mets. They scored their run in the 2nd inning. Some old school Brewers logos there. There's a lot of New Yorkers that have Milwaukee Brewers blood in them. Some transplanted Wisconsins here. It's always fun to come to New York, and there's a lot of Brewers fans that actually tailgated today outside of Citi Field. Got a couple of guys with some Craig Counsell jerseys on today.
Yeah, teaching them how to do it here in New York, right? The tailgate.
Garza facing Kadire to start the 4th inning. Garza has allowed 1 run on 4 hits. He has been able to get out of the last 2 innings with double plays. an inning-ending double play in the second, and a 6-4-3 double play last inning. He also has a couple of strikeouts to go along with a walk. All right, so back to the Pete Vukovich sanitary sock story.
Anyway, you know, the sanitary sock, real thin, real long. I mean, you
it's like a
pull them
tube
up
sock
all the way to your knee.
Yeah.
So we had to. It was getaway day. I forget where we were, but it was mandatory to wear a tie on the plane.
Kadire a single to right and a lead man on here in the fourth.
Vuki had his Sanzabel pants on, you know, the skin tight pants that they used to wear back in the 80s, and a golf shirt. So he's kind of wondering how he's going to be able to get away with, not get fined for not having a tie. So he grabbed a sanitary sock and he tied it, put a knot in it, and he walked onto the plane. He didn't get fined. Nobody knew.
That's a beautiful story.
Innovative.
Did nobody really know, or you know, you can't really find somebody for the quality of their tie.
The only person that had to know didn't know, and that was the manager. I forget who it was.
Nice. Pete Vukovich. I don't even know if they make sanitary socks anymore.
Oh, they do.
It used to be the really thin sock that you'd put over your regular socks, and the sanitary sock got its name because it would absorb all the grass and the dirt and all that, so it would keep your other socks.
You put them under the stirrups, basically.
And then the Oakland A's, they had the yellow sanitary socks.
Anyway,
didn't know you're going to get a sanitary sock historical perspective tonight. Kids will have to Google it. But they do make great ties. No question.
Coming down now, isn't it?
Rain is falling in New York. They were expecting rain tonight. Hopefully it's just a light shower and they don't have to put the tarp down.
Doesn't seem real concerned. They still have the cover on the tarp down the left field line.
What are your bones telling you right now about the weather, Ron?
The elbow's feeling pretty good.
Okay, good.
So it's just going to be a passing shower.
That's a good sign. If you watch the Preakness today, that rain that peppered Maryland, and during that race specifically, is headed directly here. American Pharoah won the Preakness today, so he's got the first two in the Triple Crown effort.
Tough one coming up. Longest one, right? Belmont.
He's a good mutter today, right? Is that what you say? Murphy fouls it back with Kadire on the move. How does a horse become a good mutter, Rock?
Just lucky.
There's nothing to do with the genes.
Don't know.
Like if his father was a good mutter.
I'm not going there. You're roping me in. I'm not going there. You can say it.
Come on, Rock.
Come on, just say it.
But you're from New Jersey. It sounds better.
It's an old Seinfeld line, right? Kramer?
American Pharoah's a good mutter. His mutter was a good mutter. We'll see who's a good mutter tonight as the rain continues to fall. Just an annoying drizzle right now.
Yeah.
Long battle. Daniel Murphy, Matt Garza, full count. And a runner at first. And Kadire takes off, and the pitch is called ball 4. And Murphy draws the walk. And Garza in a bit of trouble here in the 4th inning. 2 on with nobody out. That was a pretty close pitch.
And Jeff Nelson didn't like it. Check it out. Boy, oh boy. A little bit low, I guess. Fox Tracks had it off the plate just a hair. And had that been called, it would have been a double play, but it wasn't, and it's first and second, nobody out.
An 8-pitch battle won by Murphy. 2 on for Eric Campbell, who doubled in the second inning and then scored the lone run of the game. Coming up from AAA Las Vegas. Polar opposites as far as ballparks go from Las Vegas. Very hitter friendly to Citi Field. That's right off the end of the bat. Garza will underhand it to first for the out. It advances both runners. Works just like a bunt. First out of the inning. Second and third now. And the catcher Kevin Plawecki coming up. Plawecki walked in the second. That set up Jacob deGrom's RBI. Both teams have the pitcher batting 8th. So if you're Garza and you're looking at the 7th and 8th hitter right now with second and third, this is the key batter right now, even though deGrom did have the RBI.
Yeah, and they're going to go right after him here.
Craig Counsell bringing his infield end at least halfway up the middle to have a chance at an out at the plate. That's Kadire running at third. Murphy's at second. Ground ball to short. Sardinas coming to the plate. The throw, and it's not in time. It was off the mark. Kadire slides in, and the Mets score.
Oh, Kadire got a great jump off of third base. That was good base running. Now Sardinas had to wait back and get the easy hop. Watch him having to go back, and Kadire off like a bullet on contact. Throw off the mark, not sure it would have mattered. Sardinas not able to get an out, not at home and not at first, and the Mets have a run on the board, 2-0 now.
And you just wonder, with the rain falling as it is, how wet that ball was after skipping through the infield grass. Probably would have been better served to take the shore out. So instead, he took a shot at it, Sardinas, and the Mets score. And here's Jacob deGrom again with 2 on. He had a hit with the infield in the second inning. With a seeing eye single to drive in the first run.
Now Counsell somewhat forced to bring that infield in to cut the run down because he knows who's on the mound facing him tonight. The guy that doesn't give up a whole lot of runs here at Citi Field, Jacob deGrom. And try and cut down as many as you can.
Starts him with a curveball and a strike. Garza's had a lot of action behind him all night. Has not had a clean inning yet. A couple of double plays have helped. And there's a base hit to left. Murphy will stop at third.
Not going to test that arm for sure.
Jacob deGrom is 2 for 2 off Matt Garza. The Mets have the bases loaded. A stroke of genius batting the pitcher 8 for Terry Collins tonight.
Yeah, fastball away, up a little bit, but not a bad pitch. deGrom just goes and serves it out into left field. Hit it too hard to score the run. Murphy has to stay at third. No way they're going to challenge Gerardo Parra's arm out there.
That's a good looking swing from deGrom. Nice little opposite field stroke. They are loaded up for the Mets' best home run hitter, Wilmer Flores, with Granderson on deck. Brewers set up to turn a double play if they get a ground ball. And Flores takes ball 1. Mets fans sensing a big inning here. They haven't had many during this 5-game losing streak. Runs have been hard to come by. In there for a strike. That's what it looks like for the Mets right now. The big power bat of David Wright on the disabled list. Flores is their shortstop. That ball's hit deep. Left center field. Long way to go, and it is up and out. Grand slam, Wilmer Flores. And the Mets busted wide open in the 4th inning. 6-0 New York.
I've seen a fair share of those this year. Grand slams, 3 in 1 game earlier this year. And the number 9 hitter, Wilmer Flores, now with 6, doubling up any other Met hitter in home runs.
That is his 2nd career grand slam. And Granderson takes a strike. Those are just the mistakes you can't afford if you're Matt Garza.
Yeah, bottom of the order doing a lot of damage here tonight. And DeGrom and Flores.
The pitcher and the shortstop, the 8 and 9 hitter with 3 hits, and they have produced 5 RBIs. Hot one on the ground, diving stop. Sardinas, no chance. And another infield hit for Granderson. The 4th hit of the inning. 2nd hit of the night for Curtis Granderson.
Yep, shading him up the middle, and Granderson able to beat the shift. And no chance for Sardinas to get him at first. A couple of infield hits for Granderson, both coming to Sardinas.
He's been a busy man tonight. Juan Lagares now with 1 out. That grand slam by Flores, the first of the year for the Mets. Their last grand slam came against the Brewers last year in June. I remember it. Taylor Tiergarten hit a grand slam. It was here in New York. Those are hard to recover from.
Right. Well, the Mets doing what the Brewers did to them last night.
A little flare is going to fall. Base hit. Granderson on his way to 3rd. And no end in sight for Matt Garza. 5 hits and a walk in the inning. Still just 1 out.
And getting a lot of the play with his pitches and pitches up the strike zone. Watch the location. It pretty much tells you the story. It's up. It's supposed to be inside. Left it out over the plate a little bit. And Lagares able to dump it into the outfield.
Lagares has been mired in a huge slump. He has just 2 hits in his last 31 at-bats before that single. You could see his reaction after he saw that one fall. Just came back yesterday, was out for 3 games with a shoulder injury. But he keeps the inning going, and now Lucas Duda with runners at 1st and 3rd. Still just 1 out. That's it batted around. Duda's the 9th hitter of the inning. Falls behind him 2-0. And activity in the Brewers bullpen. Brandon Kinsler.
This is where that start from Palos comes up so big. 8 innings. First game of a long road trip.
raining as hard now as it has all night.
Umpire's doing what they can. Of course, the grounds crew doesn't look too concerned, but tarp's still covered. Trying to get through 5 innings here at least.
And to make it an official game, Mets would have to retire the Brewers in the top of the 5th. As Duna draws the walk on 4 pitches. So the bases are loaded again. Counsell is going to let it ride with Garza. 6 runs are in for the Mets. 5 of them in this inning.
Yeah, Kadire started this mess with a base hit to right.
Garza has 29 pitches in the inning. Yesterday, the Brewers scored a run in the 2nd and then scored 4 in the 3rd. Ended up with a 7-0 win. Mets got a run in the 2nd tonight, and they put 5 on the board in the 4th. And still just 1 out.
Mets haven't had an inning like this in quite some time. They have had a difficult time posting runs.
Kadire, left field, fair ball. Granderson is in. Right behind him, Lagares. And they'll hold Duda. 2 RBI double for Michael Kadire. 8-0 Mets.
And you got to figure that's got to be it for Matt Garza. I think Counsell's seen enough. Brandon Kinsler is ready down in the bullpen, and I think that's going to do it. Disaster here in New York for Matt Garza. A breaking ball that stayed right down the middle of the plate. Hits the chalk line down the left field line.
Yep, right on the line. Great shot. Clearly a fair ball. Counsell has to take the ball from Garza. And a disappointing start here tonight for Matt Garza. 8 runs are in. Still just 1 out in the 4th. Alone with his thoughts. 8 runs are in for the Mets. Still 2 runners that are Garza's responsibility. And Brewers baseball, Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Pitching change for the Brew Crew. Brandon Kinsler is on to try to clean up this mess here in the 4th inning.
Well, you got to wonder how long Kinsler's going to be out there. It's going to be extended, I would imagine. Last pitched on Wednesday against the White Sox. A scoreless inning in the 3rd. Walked a couple of batters, struck out a couple. Came up on May 8th from AAA Colorado Springs. Took the roster spot of Rob Wooten.
The Mets have sent 10 batters to the plate. RBIs from the catcher Plawecki, a grand slam from the shortstop Wilmer Flores, and Kadire just drove in 2 with his second hit of the inning. He started the inning with a single, and a double chases Garza. 4 1/3 for Matt Garza today. Right now 8 runs, all earned. Still 2 that belong to him out there for Daniel Murphy. Murphy walked in the 4th, or earlier in this inning, I should say. Ever patient, Murphy takes a strike. Totally different story from last night. Brewers had the big league last night, had it in cruise control early.
You think about that 3-2 pitch Murphy took his first time up this inning. It would have been a strike him out, throw him out. Pretty close, but it looked like it was off the plate. Hell, things might have been different had that pitch been a strike. Or even Murphy swinging at it. Who knows? It's the way it goes sometimes.
And unfortunately for the Brewers, it's the way it's been going a lot more than not this year. He had some smiles on last night. Good to see him enjoy a night at the ballpark last night, but it has turned around in a big way this evening as Murphy fouls one off. It's 2-2 now. Good opportunity for Brandon Kinsler to try to get right. It's been a tough year for him. Hasn't had his same velocity that he showed last year. Kinsler had a 3.24 ERA out of the bullpen last year. Had a high ERA in Colorado Springs at the time of his call up to the big leagues. They actually had to purchase his contract. He was taken off the major league roster. There's a base hit right center. That's going to score a couple. And the beat goes on for the Mets. Daniel Murphy drives in 2 with a double. It is 10-0 New York. Nine runs are in the inning.
Man, that looked like a slider that really didn't do much. Not much on it, up in the zone, 83 miles an hour. And Daniel Murphy able to rake that one into right center. Scoring a couple of runs. Well, I tell you, there's been one out for a long time here.
Eric Campbell, the man at the plate, is the lone out in this inning. He was the 3rd batter of the inning.
8 straight batters have reached.
Runner at second, 1 out. By the way, that's a milestone double for Daniel Murphy, his 200th career double. He's been swinging a hot bat for the Mets lately. The month of May, he's hitting up over 340. Always a good hitter, Murphy. Tough out. That's a little flare that's going to fall. Another hit. Another run is in. 11-0 Mets. 10 runs are in the inning.
Well, 11 runs, all charged to Matt Garza. That's going to sting the earned run average.
There's Plawecki.
Actually, one of them is going to be charged to Brandon Kinsler. So 10 runs on the board for Matt Garza in 3 1/3.
An ERA buster. The most runs allowed in an inning for Brewers pitchers this year had been 6. The Pirates scored 6 runs in the 9th inning in an early April game. Blown that away here. 10 runs are in the inning. Matt Garza's ERA went from 4.04 to 5.72 with his outing tonight. 10 earned runs. Yikes. Career high, by the way, for Garza. 10 hits, 10 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 2 Ks. It's been the problem for the Brewers. They can't get on a roll. They can't get consistent pitching. And the guys you're counting on to be the leaders of the staff. Garza had come into this start with 4 consecutive quality starts. As Kinsler strikes out Plawecki, just the second out of the inning. And that's the first out in a 9-batter stretch.
And this is all coming against a team that has really struggled to put any runs of any kind up on the board. A 10-run fourth. Most runs, 11 that the Mets have scored this year.
Here's DeGrom. He has 2 of the hits. The pitcher. And DeGrom, another base hit. Wow. A 3-hit night by the pitcher.
And he's 2 for 2 in the 4th inning. Goodness.
You can't find a white flag big enough to raise right here. When the pitcher goes 3 for 3 and we're only in the 4th inning, you've got problems. Here's Flores, who had the big swing, the grand slam earlier in this inning. Got 2 on now.
And the issues go deeper, beyond tonight's game. I mean, when you have this many problems getting outs this early in the game, I mean, you're risking wearing out your whole bullpen. And I go back to last night, how important that good long start for Kyle Loesch was. 8 innings. They only had to use Michael Blazek. This is going to be a bullpen night tonight.
Kinsler has come on here, and he already has 16 pitches. This is his 5th batter faced. Not much a pitching coach can do about this one. Got one of your primary starters on the mound, the man you're counting on, and he can't get through the 4th. That'll set you back.
Yep.
Flores in a 1-2 count. Mets haven't had a pitcher collect 3 hits in a game since the 2011 season. Chris Young. Flores slices it foul. He's got no fedora and he has no dog. So therefore, no foul ball.
Got to have one or the other tonight.
Oh, they gave it to him. At least he gets to go home with something, Rock. One-two count. Kinsler trying to mercifully end this inning. And Jeff Nelson sees that outside just a hair. I'm going to go ahead and call that if I'm an umpire next time.
You're going to bring that up?
I'm going to just, just saying, if I'm going to be an umpire one day.
You get evaluated on every one.
I know, but at this point.
You're going to say forget it?
Due to time constraints, I'm calling that. 2-2. Can't call that one. Kinsler just does not look like himself this year.
Well, velocity way down. I mean, when he first got called up a couple of years ago, I mean, he was bringing it, mid-90s. Right now it's 91, 92. Makes a big difference. Change in velocity like that.
Those pitches that have that finishing kick are now ending up in the dirt. Runners go. Flores rolls one to third. And the Brewers finally get out of this inning. 10 runs in the fourth for the Mets. Yikes. It's 11-0. Three hits at the plate. DeGrom, a 3-hit shutout on the mound through his first 4 innings. We're on our way to the 5th. Don't forget tonight, Fox Sports Live will get you caught up on the NHL and NBA playoff action, plus highlights of tonight's MLB games. You can see Fox Sports Live tonight on FS1 or see the simulcast right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Big hockey game today in the city of New York at Madison Square Garden. The Rangers beat the Lightning.
Setting late goal in the third period, right?
Very nice. Have you ever seen a hockey game at Madison Square Garden?
I have a couple of them.
Oh, man.
Yep, something else.
That's on my bucket list, There are a lot of grisly numbers coming in from that 10-run inning. And Scooter Gennett leads off the 5th. So the 9 hits for the Mets in the inning, the most hits in an inning since the 09 season. First year of Citi Field. Grand slam by Flores, the first of the year. It's the 4th time in Mets history they've scored 10 runs in an inning. "15 batters came to the plate. And Garza tagged for 10 earned runs.
And he's been throwing the baseball so well. I mean, this is kind of a surprise given where he's pitching and who he's facing. I mean, his last 4 starts have been pretty good. But not tonight. One of those nights.
Well, it's a good thing there are a lot of dogs in the ballpark. Good game for a dog to see. GENNETT takes a strike. There's a lot of wet dogs out there.
And you got the hot dog vendor who barks like a dog, right?
I hear him around here somewhere. He's under us. Scooter GENNETT. A jam shot. And that'll be caught for the first out. Yeah, they have a hot dog vendor here who works this area right below us, and he barks throughout the game. Now,
but you bark back at him.
Right, I bark back at him.
Well,
That's kind of our
encouraging
thing.
him.
But I'm saying tonight, while he's barking to sell hot dogs, he's really stirring up the other dogs.
Yeah, he is. He sounds like a dog.
This dog has a lot of mischief in mind. You'll hear him. He'll be around. He's just making his way through. Maldonado takes a strike.
You still don't have a dog, do you?
No, we like other people's pets. Just like other people's boats.
I imagine the smells around the ballpark are driving these dogs nuts.
Well, Maldonado grounds to third.
Well, tonight's time of the game winner, Duck Creek Pub in Green Bay, if they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours. The number 414-902-4572. Duck Creek Pub gets 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a 2015 Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Brandon Kinsler is going to get an at-bat. Kinsler's got the look of a hitter at the plate. I know he's hit before, but it hasn't been very often. Matter of fact, this is his second career at bat, and a little liner that'll end the inning. So DeGrom, after his club gets him 10, puts up a 0, and it's still 11-0.
By Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Brewers fans riding out the rain in an 11-0 deficit here, but on Monday, June 29th, Davey Nelson will again host his celebrity golf tournament in support of Brewers Community Foundation and the Open Arms Home for Children, an organization located in South Africa, which serves as an orphanage for children struggling to survive. Open Arms provides shelter, clothing, and basic health care for children, assuring them a better chance at life and the future. You can join Davey and friends at Whistling Straits for a fantastic day of golf and fundraising. You can register for this outing at www.brewers.com/Davey.
All right, Sophia, thanks, and we wish Davey the best of luck. That is a great cause. Davey is a star on and off the air. He does great work, and they get a lot of terrific players there who entertain everybody. And make sure you look up our buddy Todd Wagner, an instructor out there at Whistling Straits. He's one of the best in the country. Got him right here in the state. And
we out there?
Yes, I have. Not in the last couple of years, but I played out there, and it's a great time. They've got the PGA Championship at Whistling Straits this year on the Straits course, and we wish them the best of luck. The final major of the season. It's going to be a lot of fun. Rock, you didn't qualify for the PGA Championship this season. Get them next year. A neck injury set you back a little bit.
Yep. I don't know. I'm kind of enjoying no golf. My stress level is much less.
Well, the groundskeepers are enjoying your moratorium on golf as well.
You know, the guys that scuba dive for the balls, they're kind of hurting a little bit.
It gives you an idea where you're hanging out, Rock, with the scuba divers.
Yeah. Yeah, if the flag stick was in the water, I'd be scratched.
Rock had a little neck surgery this offseason, so they put his golf on hiatus, which is not a bad thing. Golf's not for everyone,
No,
though.
it's not. No.
Granderson, a swing and a miss. 2-2, leading off this fifth inning. This game is official, by the way, if a
stopped raining
downpour.
Grounds crew is right. They never took the cover off the tarp. It stopped raining.
Hit hard to center, but right at Gomez for the out. Granderson retired. 2 out of 4 tonight for Granderson.
And Sophia stuck it out throughout the rain. She's down there still by the dugout.
She's very organized in her 3-city road trip packing. She's got her umbrella.
She was actually told she can come up in the press box, and nope, that's not where I'm supposed to be. She's back there somewhere.
She's back there. Keeping an eye on things. Nothing gets by Sophia on her watch. We're working on Sophia's golf swing today. That was the big,
I saw
the big
that on
project.
The bus.
Yes, she's
showing her the grip. Got to be honest, I was kind of watching too, see if I can pick something.
See, she's got a chance to be a good golfer. She's athletic,
unlike
young.
Me, you saying?
Not broken.
I'm not getting out of that swing I had. I'm not shaking out.
Start from scratch, right, Sophia? You're ready to go.
Yeah, I was really appreciative of the tutorial on the bus. It was probably the most educational and informative bus ride we've had this season.
Right.
Working on the golf swing, getting ready for the Davey Nelson tournament. So
first one's free. Next one, we'll have to charge you.
It was a great instructional, though. Thank you, though.
Game's pretty easy without a club and a ball.
That's right. We were just working on the grip today. It's all in the grip, said Harvey Pinnock. 1-2 count on Lagares, and Kemsler misses inside. Little tapper. Kemsler pounces on it, and there is out number 2. I saw where Giancarlo Stanton hit another long distance home run today. They measured his home run today at 475 feet.
He Something else, that guy.
And that was at Marlins Park.
We've seen him hit up close and personal some monumental blasts at that ballpark.
So they track home run distances now. They can do it in a little more scientific way than the Mike Vasallo guesstimation.
Yeah, guessing.
And Giancarlo Stanton has hit 4 home runs in 6 days. 3 of those home runs have traveled 465 feet. He hit one over the batter's eye in Marlins Park today. I mean, you may go a whole season and not see a 450-foot home run. And he's hit 3 this week.
Last week he hit one out of Dodger Stadium over the pavilion and left.
Right. Yesterday he hit one into the camera well. You know in center field how deep that is?
Yeah.
That was measured at 474.
And that's a big high wall out there.
Yeah, right.
Real high.
Near the sculpture, the exploding sculpture out there in left center at Marlins Park. That guy is a megastar in the game of baseball. The highest paid player in the game, Giancarlo Stanton. I might have to throw him on our DraftKings pick tomorrow, for the day game, for the fun of it. Duda swing and a miss, and Kinsler works a 1-2-3 inning in the 5th. 11-0 Mets. Brewers are coming up in the 6th. And we head to the 6th now. Time for our Blaines down on the farm. And Orlando Arcia, one of the great shortstop prospects in all of baseball, had a 2-run home run last night for Double-A Jackson, the Biloxi Shuckers. Look at those numbers, Rock. He's hitting 354 now. Leads the Southern League in hits.
Yeah, he's an impressive young man. Still young, still learning, and we talked about it in the spring. I mean, we talked about it throughout the season so far this year. The Brewers have a lot of very good young middle infield talent.
And here's one they acquired in the Gallardo deal. Luis Sardinas making his Brewers debut tonight. Stockpile with very talented shortstops. The Brewers are very fortunate in that regard, and they are going to be a team that a lot of other teams are looking at as far as shortstops go. That is a valuable position. The Brewers have Segura as their starter. He's been an all-star. He's on the DL now, but you got Gomez, and Elian Herrera can play short. But then the two prospects for Sardinas, the switch hitter at the plate, and Orlando Arcia, who's the younger brother of Osvaldo Arcia of the Twins. And look at Sardinas with his second hit of the night.
That's a nice approach right there. Not over swinging, just laying the bat on the baseball. Very similar to his last hit. That looked like a changeup that time. And just waits back and serves it out into right field. That's a good piece of hitting. He's 2 for 2.
Well, Sardinas has played all over the infield. Mostly played at second base last year for the Rangers. Played some third. Shortstop is his natural position. And you know he's hoping to take this 2 weeks here and try to make an impact and stay on this major league roster. He's not afraid of the big moment, is the scouting report on him. Everybody who has seen him play says the same thing. Little cue shot. That's going to squirt into right field. A base hit. Sardinas on his way to third. Carlos Gomez with a single. And the Brewers have 2 on with nobody out.
They'll take him any way you can get him at this point. Right off the end of the bat. Look at a breaking pitch from DeGrom. And he just sneaks one into the hole over there. They had Daniel Murphy playing up the middle. Slider. You see Carlos pulls his head off the end of the bat, but put it in a good spot. So the first 2 reach here in the 6th.
For Gerardo Parra, who was 0 for 2. DeGrom has given up 5 hits now. For the rest of this game, this is going to be a night whether DeGrom goes quickly through the order or gets chased quickly and gives up some runs, because the Brewers, you know, are going to go up there hacking. DeGrom's going to be on the attack to throw strikes with an 11-0 lead.
Right, you don't want to be getting behind the count. The Brewers might think about jumping on that first fastball, which is what Parra did. The equalizer is the 96-mile-an-hour fastball that DeGrom has. Pitch count's been pretty good throughout the night.
0-2 count on Parra. Got Braun on deck, Lynn to follow. And Parra dumps one, left field line, out of play. Count stays at 0-2. These are the kind of nights, too, you're down 11-0. The odds are against you to come back, but you want to try to come up with something. You know, don't give away at-bats. Try to make a play defensively. Anything that will carry it forward to tomorrow. Right. You just never know. If you're a reliever, if you're Brandon Kinsler, and you can give Craig Counsell 3 innings, maybe 4 innings.
And that's what Craig Counsell and the coaching staff are thinking right now. What can we do tonight to better ourselves for tomorrow? I would imagine if the Brewers really don't get anything going, you might see some of the starters get taken out at some point. Keep them a little bit more fresh for tomorrow. Some of the bench players some time.
Day game tomorrow. First pitch just after 1 o'clock here in New York. We'll be on the air at 11:30 Central tomorrow for Brewers Live. So you got a quick turnaround. There's Neil Kotz. Lee Tunnell, the bullpen coach, is there with him. Parra giving him a good fight. 1-2 the count, 1st and 3rd.
Fastballs, every one of them up in the zone. Some of them at 96, 97.
First one down in the zone. Parra able to foul that one off.
Raining again. This might be what we're going to get all night.
Pitch number 8. And it is a 1-2 count. Got him. Back up there, and Parra strikes out. He was in swing mode. DeGrom has 6 Ks.
He made the one mistake on the fastball down, and Gerardo Parra not able to center on it. And then DeGrom goes right back up there and gets him to swing through it.
Powerball home run leaderboard has Ryan Braun at the top of the heap. 8 home runs. He hit 2 last night. One out for Braun. And Braun into right field. That's going to be deep enough to get a run home. So the Brewers score for the first time. Braun with a sac fly and an RBI. His club leading 22nd of the season. And the shutout is gone for Jacob DeGrom.
Yeah, leave that one out over the plate, and that's the bread and butter for Ryan Braun. Middle away. Able to hit that one hard into right field. Brewers are hoping for more. They still can. Only 2 outs.
Which will bring Adam Lind to the plate with 2 gone. He's 0 for 2 tonight. All the Brewers injuries this year, and the guy that I think everyone was most concerned about being injured in spring training, Adam Lind, he's been out there every day just about.
Yeah, he didn't play defense for what, about the first 10 games in spring training.
A bad back. Thought it was unusual too. He said, when my back flares up, I can still swing. There's no pain at all when I swing the bat, which is strange. You'd feel like swinging the bat actually caused the bad back, but he said that's not the case.
It was the AstroTurf over there in Toronto, probably.
Yeah, I wonder. They've got a plan to get rid of that turf, but the problem there is that they've got to dig up concrete. They first have to wait till the football team, the CFL team, the Argos, are done with their contract. I think that's next year, and then they're going to try to put grass in the Rogers Center as DeGrom issues the walk, his first of the night.
How about that double barrel action with an 11-1 lead? We got a right-hander, got a left-hander, and DeGrom sitting at, what is that, 96 pitches?
Yeah, a lot of pitches.
I mean, pitch counts up there, and it's not often you see 2 pitchers loosening up with a 10-run lead.
Terry Collins sends his pitching coach Dan Warthen out there to talk to DeGrom. So 2 outs for Ramirez. I bet Rock's mortgage that he'd be swinging at the first pitch if it's a strike.
Maybe he doesn't. Will you pay it?
And there it goes. Foul.
Yeah. Just my luck.
Your mortgage is paid for. Or you're not going to lose it anyway. At the plate, presented by Wendy's for Ramirez. That's like other people's pets, you know. I'm good with other people's pets and boats and mortgages
and money. Yep.
But how is the estate coming along, by the way, Rock? The crew is excited for another crew party.
It's greening up nicely, you know. We got some flowers going, and grass is looking good.
Nice. Got a pool over there?
Yeah.
And a pond.
Little pond, yeah.
Pool and a
Got
pond.
some fish.
Pond to be best for you.
Not a pull guy.
On the ground to second base. Murphy will finish off the inning. DeGrom gives up a run, gets a visit from his pitching coach, and it's 11-1. Made a spring training line change. This is where we play follow the director, Mark Vittorio. Chris Davis is in left. Gerardo Parra moves to center. Elian Herrera is now in right field. Martin Maldonado takes over at first base from behind the plate. Hector Gomez is at third base. Are you writing all these down?
I am. I've got them ready down.
Gomez at third. And the new catcher is Juan Centeno. And we have a new pitcher as well, Neil Kotz.
Yeah, the only player left on the bench, Jason Rogers. And Neil Kotz last pitched on Wednesday against the White Sox and tossed up a scoreless ninth inning, gave up a hit but no runs, a 5.14 earned run average in game number 16.
Seven of the 9 positions have been changed. Gomez is out, Braun, Lind, Ramirez. All right, here's Michael Kadire to start it. Kotz needs a good outing. He needs to get himself on a little bit of a run here.
Started out pretty well, but been bitten by the home run bug. That has been a pitching staff issue so far this year, giving up the long ball.
A great story of perseverance. Neil Kotz. An amazing story that he was out of baseball in 09. He was pitching for the White Sox when he first came up. Matter of fact, he was on their World Series team in 2005. And then ended up with the Cubs. And then started to have some major injuries. Had an infection from a surgery. He went 4 years between outings in the major leagues from 09 to 2013 when the Rangers gave him a chance and ended up in the big leagues that year as he strikes out Kadire.
He's had some good years in the major leagues. Kind of a rough season last year. 2-9 record with Texas. Had a rough spring training, but started out pretty well this year for Milwaukee.
Here's Daniel Murphy. Kotz is from the Midwest. He's from Illinois, Lebanon, Illinois, and he played his college ball at Illinois State. Kotz's injuries were so significant. Started with a ligament injury to his elbow, had the Tommy John surgery, that was back in '09, and then had a major hip problem that I believe required 4 surgeries. But as he was trying to come back, he couldn't pass a physical to get a contract, and he failed the physical that the Rangers administered, and yet they signed him anyway, just saying, you know, guy's been through a lot. They had some scouts that knew him a little bit and gave him a chance at AAA and said, all right, let's just see what you can do. And then he ended up pitching in AAA that year in 2013, and he was dominant. He didn't give up a hit to a left-handed hitter in 2013 until July.
Not bad, huh?
Between AAA and the big leagues, and he ended up in the major leagues that year and remained dominant for the Rangers. Had a 1.11 ERA. He gave up just 7 earned runs for the Rangers in 2013 once he was called up. That was 58 games. He gave up 7 earned runs. And then he pitched for him last year. Not the dominant year. His ERA was up over 4. He pitched him a lot, though. 73 games last season. And then the Brewers signed him. He's 35 coming into this first year as a Brewer. And he's glad to be back in the upper Midwest. Murphy pops it up. A lot of foul territory over there. Hector Gomez will make the catch for the second out.
They make plans to be at Miller Park this Memorial Day as the Brewers kick off a 3-game series against Buster Posey and the San Francisco Giants. That's Monday, May 25th through Wednesday, the 27th. Tickets start at just $9. Visit Brewers.com to reserve your spot today.
You're kind of a hat guy. What do you think of the fedora giveaway?
I like it.
Oh, it's a nice touch.
You know, if it wasn't blue and orange, I'd pick one up. I bet the fans are glad they gave him out tonight, keeping the rain off their head.
Because the fedora is really an all-weather headgear.
Some are.
First pitch swinging, Campbell fouls it back. It's been raining off and on all night. Promotion to bring your dog tonight as well. To go along with the fedora, just sweeten the pot a little bit to come out to Citi Field on a Saturday. Ponchos are not free, however.
Dogs don't mind the rain.
No, they love it.
Yeah.
We saw a lady trying to put a fitted raincoat on a dog earlier. He was having none of it. Sometimes you go too far.
You think? I know my dog, Rupert, he would never sit in that seat. Ever. He'd be all over the place. Hot dogs. All kinds of stuff to eat out there.
It's an attack of the senses for a mutt.
He's a bit unruly at this point. He's still a puppy enough.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
They say it's a direct reflection of the owner, you know.
Right. That's it. Exactly.
Broken bat. That'll stay fair. Gomez makes a play, and Kotz puts together a 3-up, 3-down inning. Terry Collins and the Mets content to give him 6 innings and in line for the victory. Carsoup.com trivia: since 2011, who are the 4 center fielders to win a Gold Glove in the National League? You're looking at one of them right there. Juan Lagares won the Gold Glove last year, Gomez the year prior, and then Matt Kemp, who started this run. It was the year the Brewers made it to the postseason. Braun won the MVP that year. Then McCutchen, the Gold Glover in 2012. Gomez with his first Gold Glove. First position player, first outfielder to win a Gold Glove for the Brewers since Sixto Lescano in '79, and then Lagares last year. And he might have a bit of a run on the Gold Gloves.
Given he hadn't been tested a whole lot in this series so far. As Eric Goodell takes over, 13th appearance for him, has not allowed a run so far this year. Actually has a scoreless innings streak at 14 1/3 going back to last September. So he's been throwing the baseball pretty well. Takes over here in the 7th.
Kirk Neuenhuis will enter the game in left field, giving Michael Kadire the rest of the game off. Brewers made a bunch of changes, and we'll start to see a lot of those players at the plate in the next couple of innings. Scooter Gennett started this game. He remains. Let's see if he can hit his way out of a slump. Use the innings and the live game action as best you can. Don't ever give them away, even in a game like this.
Try to find a victory, both individually and as a team. Find something positive you can take away from it.
If we're just picking this up, it was a 10-run inning for the Mets. That was the 4th. Matt Garza gave up 10 earned runs in 4 1/3 tonight. Kinsler gave up the other earned run. He went an inning and 2/3. Cox just worked a scoreless inning. Meanwhile, Jacob deGrom goes 6 innings with just 1 run allowed. He's in line for his 4th win. Gennett, picked up cleanly by the pitcher Goodell, and Scooter's luck continues as such.
And that's just a nice play by the Mets pitcher, keeping that glove down and able to get the out. That's a 1-hop bullet that Goodell's able to grab and get the first out of the inning.
Tough break for Gennett, who can't buy a hit right now. Maldonado takes a ball. Martin now at first base, getting off his feet for the rest of this game. You see the numbers on Goodell?
Yeah.
And his scoreless streak, and the 12-game scoreless outing streak to start a season. It's one of the longest in Mets franchise history. Joe Smith has the franchise record of 17 games to start a season. So he went 17 games without giving up a run. Joe Smith, the husband of my basketball colleague, Allie LaForce.
Really?
He pitches for the Angels now. Did you know that?
That's incredible.
She worked the Bucks Bulls series.
How things come around.
It's amazing.
7 degrees of separation.
Joe Davis. He's a good pitcher. I may or may not have tried to recruit him to the Brewers at some point when his contract is up. It's not tampering because I never actually spoke to him in person.
Okay.
I just kind of wished it upon him. Like he would consider Milwaukee.
Willing it to happen?
Yeah.
You have that power, don't you?
Right. You do that. Maldonado is out. 2 gone in the inning. Well, we remind you, you can enter now for a chance to win a trip to the MLB All-Star Game on Fox. That includes tickets for you and 3 of your friends Upload 2 photos at foxsports.com/fantastic-all-star now through June 3rd. Got to round up 3 friends if you win that.
Joe Smith, ask him.
He might be at the All-Star game as a reliever. Never know. Might have a ticket already. Juan Centeno getting his first at-bat. Looking for his first hit of the season. Brewers called him up when they put Lucroy on the DL.
Hadn't had many opportunities to get in the game. Still looking for his first hit. He's made only 2 starts. Pretty good chance he might get a start tomorrow.
He's got big league time with the Mets. Last year he got a little time with New York. Not this time. Down he goes. 1-2-3 inning for Goodell. And we head to the bottom of the 7th. Stretch time at Citi Field in New York. 11-1 Mets. Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. Dogs are out, and it has been a dog if you're from the Brewers' perspective here tonight. 11-1 as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Game 2 of this 3-game series. We're back at it tomorrow afternoon. Final game of the series. And finish off the first leg of this 3-city road trip. Next up, Detroit and then Atlanta. 4 games in Atlanta, Thursday through Sunday. Neil Cott's back out there for his 2nd inning. A 10-run Mets 4th. The difference in this game. Mets scored in the 2nd inning and then 10 in the 4th, including a grand slam by Wilmer Flores. Kadire and Murphy both had 2 RBI doubles.
10 runs on 9 hits.
All but one of those in that inning belonging to Matt Garza. Had his worst start of his career, the most runs he's ever allowed. In the air, left field. Kevin Plawecki sends one out of here. (12-1) Mets as the apple is up. 2nd home run of the night for New York. And Plawecki with his 2nd home run of the season.
5th allowed by Neil Cott so far this year. Check out the location. I mean, that was up out over the plate, and Plawecki knocks it out of here. You make mistakes and hitters going to jump all over. That's certainly been the case tonight for the Brewers pitching staff. Haven't missed too many mistakes tonight, have the Mets.
Every pitcher for the Brewers is giving up damage. Garza 10 runs. Kinsler gave up a run in an inning and 2/3, and now Cox gives up one in his second inning. Home run balls bitten Matt Garza this year. He's allowed 8 in his 8 starts. Cox has now given up 5 home runs in just 15 innings.
Brewers came into play allowing 51 home runs. Does it surprise you that the Padres have given up the most home runs of any team in the National League? 52.
Yeah.
Now the Brewers just passed them. I mean, that's a pretty good pitching staff and a pretty good ballpark to pitch in.
Cox with a strikeout, is second. First out of the inning. How about our Jimmy John's delivery of the game? And that would belong to Wilmer Flores. The big swing in the 10-run fourth, a grand slam.
Yeah, that was the backbreaker right there. I mean, that was the killer with the bases loaded and kind of separated the Mets from the Brewers tonight.
What's a bigger surprise for you, that the Padres have given up the most homers or that the Dodgers have hit the most?
Yeah, right.
Neither one of those places are ballparks you account for a lot of home runs. Either way.
Another bigger surprise that the Houston Astros have had 52 home runs.
Astros,
they lead the American League.
They might be a factor this year. I think they've got some staying power. Be good for them. Yeah. I mean, they've been scraping the bottom of the barrel, but they've had some great drafts. Had a really failed draft, one of the biggest disasters in the draft, losing out on their first overall pick. But Flores, oh, what a play here. Sardinas again, and the throw not in time. Nice scoop by Maldonado, but Flores able to beat it out. Sardinas has shown great range tonight, but he's got the wrong kind of runners going down the line. He can't get them out.
He's knocked down and he's dove and grabbed 3 of them, and able to get up, but just not able to get enough on the throw to get him. That's about as close as it gets, but I doubt you're going to see a review in an 11-run game. Worth another look. Luis Sardinas has been covering a lot of ground, courtesy of Columbia St. Mary's.
Here's Granderson, who has 2 hits tonight. Coming into play tonight, the Houston Astros have a 4.5 game lead in the AL West. And they have a lead tonight, 6-3 on the Blue Jays, trying to win their 4th straight game. The Chicago Cubs have the longest winning streak in the big leagues. They've won 5 in a row. Cubs actually won today. They won 6 straight. I beg your pardon. Leicester beat the Pirates today. Cubs are hot and climbing the division. 4 games back of the Cardinals to start play today. That's a foul ball. Cardinals lost to the Tigers in 10 innings, so the Cubs are now 3 back. Tigers have beaten the Cardinals in back-to-back games, and a milestone home run in that game today. Miguel Cabrera hit his 400th career homer. Back-to-back nights with players entering the 400 homer club.
Yeah, Brewers are going to be in Detroit on Monday. Now that's an offense.
That is an offense.
I better be ready to pitch pretty well in that series.
Adrian Beltre last night hit number 400. Miguel Cabrera tonight. Cabrera has the most home runs by a Venezuelan-born player. Granderson sends that one deep. That's not coming back. That was a bomb off the facing of the second deck. Two-run homer for Granderson. And it's 14-1.
And there's no running out the clock in baseball. I mean, these guys, they get their at-bats. They want to get hit. Granderson with his third hit. He's had a couple of infield hits. And a big fly to right.
That is way back there.
The second deck out there in right. Goodness.
The third home run for the Mets tonight. Granderson has 3 hits. Mets look like they're well on their way to snapping a 5-game losing streak. 14 runs on 16 hits. Both season highs.
Every spot in the batting order for the Mets has a hit, at least one. Including the starting pitcher,
who has 3, Jacob deGrom, and had 2 hits in the same inning. Haven't seen a pitcher have 2 hits in the same inning since 2013. Adam Wainwright did that. 3 hits in a game. And deGrom went 6 innings with just 1 earned run. Struck out 6. A ho-hum night for him. Todd strikes out Lagares. Second out of the inning, his 3rd K. The 14 runs on the board today. The most by the Mets at Citi Field. They tie the most. They had scored 14 back in 2010. Superlatives are flying. They're going to have to rewrite the media guide.
We just had
the
to
Brewers'
stop,
expense.
We just have to stop listening.
Good point.
It's been a miserable night for the Brew Crew.
Let them have their fun tonight. Brewers will have a chance to win the series tomorrow. And we'll be here, God willing. Afternoon game at Citi Field. They're expecting a little bit of rain tomorrow as well. Not as much as tonight, I understand.
I think everybody's expecting a lot more rain than they got tonight. I mean, it's been kind of a nuisance, but they haven't had to stop the game.
It's be a good time to start raining a lot at this point.
They want a rain delay after all this?
No. Just a full-on rain finisher. As Davis makes a catch, the inning is over. And the Mets keep scoring runs. 14-1 our score after 7. Headed to the 8th. Our coverage on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. And Rock, how about our Marshfield Clinic shining moment of the game? There's not a whole lot to choose from tonight, but we'll dial into the birthday boy, Luis Sardinas, with 2 hits in his Brewers debut today.
A couple of hits to right. He got a hit on a fastball in the third inning, rather, and stayed back on a changeup in the 6th. He's hit a couple of nice pickups on balls that he was able to keep in the infield. 3 of them actually diving catches, but not able to get the out at first base. So looking good at short, some good range, and looks like a much different hitter right now than he did in spring training.
The switch hitter. Haven't seen him bat right-handed just yet. Sardinas batting for the 3rd time. Brewers making a big trade this offseason. Giovanni Gallardo, who had been their opening day starter, traded to the Rangers. Rangers trying to bolster their rotation. Texas is 6 games under 500 starting play today. They've had a rough year as well after they lost the most games in the big leagues last year. Gallardo is 3-5. He's leading the American League in losses, but his ERA is 3.94. And he's been able to make all of his starts for Texas. That's his hometown, by the way, as they check on Plawecki, who's hit a home run tonight. Tells the skipper he's good to go.
Raining again, off and on all night. Those don't hurt nearly as much if you just hit a homer.
0-2 on Sardinas. The trade that sent Gallardo to Texas involved 3 players from the Rangers. Sardinas, Corey Knebel, a reliever, and Marcos Diplan, who's down in the lower minor leagues. He's a pitcher. First time Sardinas has been retired tonight. Here's Chris Davis, first at bat of the night. He's had a hard time breaking in the lineup with Gerardo Parra swinging the bat so well, and a string of right-handed starting pitchers.
Starting to creep that average up there a little bit. There was a stretch where he was pulling off the baseball a little bit, but lately starting to take it back through the middle and into right center. This is a positive. I think Craig Counsell is trying to get to here to give some of these guys some at bats before tomorrow's game. Centeno and Chris Davis, you figure, might be back in the lineup tomorrow. You don't want to have him out of the lineup too long.
Right off the end of the bat, Lagares plays shallow, able to run that one down. 2 outs. Yeah, I wonder if Counsell will have Sardinas back at shortstop again tomorrow. After 2 hits, he's one of the few bright spots of the night. All those decisions by a major league manager. Last night, Craig Counsell won his first road game of his managerial career. So far, Counsell is 6-5. He's going to go to 6-6 after tonight. Mets have been having trouble scoring runs in a big way. They have managed to score more than 3 runs in a game only 4 times in their last 17, and they have 14 runs on the board tonight and 16 hits. They've had major concerns about their offense. Not tonight. The Mets jumped out to a 15-5 start, scoring 4.5 runs a game. You see what's happened lately for them. Mets still remain in first place in their division. Parra lines one, center field, down, base hit. Picked up on a hop by Lagares. Gerardo continues to hit. His first of the night after a couple last night.
First hit allowed by Goodell. This guy is throwing the baseball pretty well, and Parra, after striking out on some high fastballs from DeGrom his last time up, able to get one down in the zone. That went out over the plate, not quite as high as the ones that DeGrom was throwing. That's a pretty risky play right there by Lagares, but he's able to pick it on the one hop.
And here's Hector Gomez.
Yeah, the Mets scored more runs tonight than they had in their previous 5 games.
All losses.
Yeah.
Brewers shut him out last night. Kyle Loesch and Michael Blazek. Loesch did the heavy lifting. He went 8. Struck out 8. Strike 2-2. Now Goodell giving Terry Collins some good innings here. Brewers got a run in the 6th. There's a strikeout, and Gomez won't bother. Inning over. Well, the Mets in control. Head to the bottom of the 8th. It's 14-1. 13 to tie. Might as well get 14 at this point, and they'll have 3 outs to work with. Hanging in there till the bitter end. Why wouldn't you if you have a chance to come to a big league game? Jeremy Jeffress is the new pitcher, 20th appearance of the season, trying to get this one to the 9th.
Yeah, and certainly he's been throwing the baseball pretty well. You can see the strikeouts. The only issue that Jeremy's had from time to time is the base on balls. A .318 earned run average in his 20th game tonight, so he has been working quite a bit so far in the early going this year.
John Mayberry Jr., the former Philly.
Yeah, Jeffress hasn't pitched since the 11th. It's been a while for him.
Good night to get some work. That applies to you and me as well. Did you have a American Pharaoh in the in your pool?
You know, I was gonna. No, I didn't. I don't get involved in that. I don't believe in gambling.
For entertainment purposes only.
I was going to go with him, but I thought because of the rain and the mud, I decided I wouldn't go with him.
I hear he's a mudder.
He's a mudder. Yeah, he is.
It's a beautiful horse.
The jockey that was on American Pharaoh was the only one that wasn't filled with mud at the end. He
don't
went
want
wire to wire, didn't he?
You don't want to be anywhere but the lead when it's that messy. Not that I have experience, but at one time I was thinking about going pro as a jockey, but I never actually got on a horse. I got kicked by a horse once. You can't sneak up on a horse.
Yeah, you don't want to sneak up on them from behind, that's for sure.
And when you think they're not looking at you, they are.
They can sense you behind there. You know,
they have horse sense.
Yeah.
You've displayed some horse sense on occasion as well. There's a strikeout for Jeffress. One away, 8th inning.
Not playing golf is one of the ways I've displayed some horse sense.
Victor Espinoza is the jockey, by the way, of American Pharaoh. So they've won twice now. Do you think the horse knows that he's won?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, God, yeah.
I wonder.
Sure. Get that bouquet wrapped around his neck. I mean, he knows.
He does.
I don't think that the jockey had to put the whip to him once this time.
To avoid the whip.
You don't want to do that too much. You get in trouble.
That was our buddy Tim McCarver's line. His analogy for baseball teams down the stretch. Time to go to the whip. Tejada grounds out. Maldonado gets the tag on him. 2 outs. What do you have there, Rob?
Hey, BA, remember this. Mark your calendar for Country Night at Miller Park on Friday, May 29th. The Brewers host the D-backs. And after the game, country artist Joe Nichols will perform a free post-game concert featuring all of his biggest hits, including Sunny in 75 and Yeah. For tickets, visit Brewers.com today.
Which one of those is your favorite?
That's not the one.
Not Yeah?
No. The Tequila song?
Oh, that's the one. That's the one. It didn't make the card.
No, it didn't.
You could have ad-libbed.
I've used some horse sense and decided not to not to mention the name of that. It's one of my favorites. It's a you know, feel good song.
Yeah, it's got a good melody.
Tried to get me again, didn't you? 0 for 2.
You're on your game tonight, though. I'm looking forward to the ballpark concerts. Got a few of them.
OAR coming in.
And it's only a matter of time before Summerfest hits. It's always a great time in Milwaukee. Say hello to our buddy John Bowler, getting all the finishing touches on Summerfest ready. So you got Joe Nichols, OAR,
the Goo Goo Dolls,
and there's one more, yeah, the Goo Goo Dolls. Yeah. Something for everybody.
I'll be in the boots, cowboy hat, ready to go. Do you think they'll let me do the open with the cowboy hat on?
Oh, sure.
As long as I have a tie.
Is that a 10-gallon hat?
Can I do the bolo, maybe? Can I do a bolo?
Yeah. For country night?
Does that count?
Oh, absolutely. That's not kind of where, you know, country's going these days, but you can go old school with the bolo tie. You got your boots. Giant hat.
10-gallon all.
I tell you, a horse would love to drink out of that hat. He could go 2 weeks without another drink with Rock's cowboy hat. It's like 15 gallons. Your stay now. Lights are up Saturday night. Lights are out on the Brewers tonight. 14-1 Mets. Trying to get this one to the finish line. And Mayberry Jr. will stay in the game. Mets have hit 3 home runs tonight. Granderson hit a 2-run shot. Plawecki, both of those came in the 7th. And then a grand slam by Flores in the 10-run 4th inning. Jack Leathersich. Hardly enough room to fit the name across the back.
Yeah, one of 3 left-handers down in that Mets bullpen. We saw Gil Martin and Alex Torres in last night's ball game. And Leathersich making his 4th appearance, has not allowed a run in limited duty. 1 walk, 1 strikeout.
It's a great name. Leathersich, a New Englander out of Massachusetts. 24-year-old lefty getting his first real run in the big leagues. Elian Herrera batting for the first time. Great success story here. Jack Leathersich went to a small college. Ends up making his way to the big leagues. I had not heard of his college before I started prepping for the series. Massachusetts Lowell is where he pitched his college ball. Made his big league debut in late April. April 28th, as a matter of fact.
Apparently a big strikeout pitcher because down in the minor leagues, 334 strikeouts in 197 innings. That's pretty good.
There's a swing and a miss. Picks up a strikeout to start his night.
There you go.
He had a school record for strikeouts at his university, averaging nearly 13 strikeouts per 9 innings. So you're at a small college like that, and you end up being drafted in the 5th round. That's saying a lot.
Yeah.
It's a Division I school, but small college in the America East Conference.
Billy Wagner signed from a small school.
He was a D3
right.
pitcher, yeah.
Was it Ferrum College?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think everybody thought that Ferrum College, the first name of Ferrum College was Tiny Ferrum College, because everybody who introduced Billy Wagner said he's from Tiny Ferrum College. And there were a lot of questions. Who's Tiny Ferrum?
Right.
Jason Rogers, his first at bat. I saw Billy Wagner pitch in the minor leagues coming up through the Astros system. Man, that was amazing.
He could bring it.
He was it was in Jackson, Mississippi. I'd never seen a guy, and he wasn't. You remember how he got when he was closing for the Mets? He was pretty thick at that point.
Right.
Back then, he was kind of skinny and small, like my size, but he threw 100 miles an hour.
Bringing it. Yeah.
It just didn't look like it was possible. But it was, and he lit up the Astros organization before he got called up. Roy Oswalt was the same way. Not a big guy.
No, not
Came
at
up
all.
in the Astros system.
Yep.
This guy's got a good arm, man. That is easy cheese, too.
Yeah, and able to find the edges. He's really hasn't thrown much in that box.
And a shot back up the middle. Rogers turns it around. So a base hit for Jason Rogers. Good for him.
He seems to be able to find the barrel of the bat. I mean, the baseball finds the barrel, and he has put together some good at bats. Doesn't always end up with a base hit, but more times than not, he hits the baseball hard.
Where do you see him ultimately position-wise, Rogers?
More of a first baseman. I think he's made a couple of starts at third and had some throwing issues, and they've moved him around quite a bit down in the minor leagues.
That's been the tough part. They know he can hit.
Yeah, trying to find a place for him to play.
Here's Scooter Gennett. 1 out. 9th inning. Mets scored 10 in the 4th. Added 3 in the 7th, and it's 14-1. Brewers shut him out yesterday. Neither one of these games have been very entertaining. It was fun yesterday watching the Brewers click on all cylinders. Braun had a 2-homer game. Loesch went 8 shutout. Parra went deep. But it's been the other side tonight, and the rain starting to come down with some force.
Yeah, it's really coming down now. Trying to get through it. Last thing you want to do is put the tarp on it.
Bite your tongue, man.
Yeah. Raining harder now than it has all night.
On the ground, double play ball, and that's that. So the game is over, and it is one to forget. The Mets win 14-1. Sets us up for tomorrow. Our Miller Lite What's on Tap. Got the Brewers and the Mets in a little afternoon baseball tomorrow. Willie Peralta against Noah Syndergaard, who made his major league debut at Wrigley Field last week. It'll be his second start of his career. Miller Lite What's on Tap on the air 11:30 a.m. Jacob deGrom gets a win. Matt Garza the loss. Surrenders 10 earned runs, the most he's allowed in a game in his career. Time for Brewers Live. Jeff standing by in our Fox Sports Wisconsin studios, ready to dazzle tonight. Take it away, Jeff.